with referee Arthur McCanny Jr. Asking or demanding that Barkley keep the punches up. It may have given Elijah a little time to regroup.
I think he was stung, Elijah, but not hurt. He got hit at the same time he threw a punch, tripped over his legs, got up in pretty good condition, and of course Iran threw everything but the building at him. A little bit of time given by the referee might have helped, but it looked like Elijah was in control of his senses.
Barkley has not been a fierce knockout puncher. 27 fights, 14 knockouts. He's won 23 and lost 4, and this is a Barkley crowd for the most part. They've been chanting Barkley, and now he's succeeding with the jab. Again, Elijah lost his balance.
Elijah's legs look like they've lost all resilience. Of course, he's been getting hit pretty hard. There has been some talk in New York that both of these are shot fighters. Their legs are doing tricks on them. Certainly Iran is not shot, but it does look like Elijah's legs are not working.
I say check the shoes.
Or the soles. S-O-U-L.
Halfway point, round 3. Iran Barkley put Michael Elijah down in the second round. And again connects with a left hook behind the head.
Elijah has got to settle down. This has got into wildness. He's trying to get wild with him. He's just getting hurt by Iran. He's got to settle down his boxing and movement and let Iran run out of gas a little bit. Right now he's fighting. Iran Barkley's fight. It's almost as if it's an overreaction to everybody in New York saying you're gun shy, you're a sissy, you're not coming up, and he's trying to show that he can take a punch and come back. Boy, that could be a mistake.
Meanwhile, Barkley taking chances with the lunging right and left. Elijah has fought twice since dropping that 15-round decision. Frank Tate for the IBF middleweight crown. It was back in October of '87 in Vegas. Since then, a knockout of Frankie Owens in 6, and he won that unimpressive performance, although taking the decision over Cecil Pettigrew.
These are two middleweights that want to end it all with one punch. These guys are every punch is a zinger here.
And we're closing in. Michael Sr. said, "You're the smarter boxer in the ring." He said, "You're in with a gorilla, but you're smarter." And when he said gorilla, I don't think he meant it affectionately either.
Well, he should know. He's been in with a few in his long career. Iran Barkley looks like a guy that can't be denied. He looks like a guy that's just confident he's got the number of Elijah. Elijah has got to establish his boxing expertise, his superiority in movement. He's not doing that. He's standing in front of Iran fighting his fight. And of course, he's lost unofficially all 3 rounds on my card.
This is round 4 from the Felt Forum, Madison Square Garden in New York. Live on NBC Sports World. Bob Albert with the fight doctor, Freddie Pacheco. Iran Barkley off to an impressive start. He got into boxing through his sister Yvonne, who did some boxing herself, believe it or not. She made her brother go to the gym in order to get over his fears of dealing with a neighborhood bully. And he has been dealing well here with Michael Elijah. Grazing right hand by Barkley. Incidentally, for those who may be interested, Barkley's sister Yvonne had a record of 10 up and 2 down.
Well, wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Iran Barkley has been out jabbing Elijah. Elijah must now pick up his jab and his superiority in speed. That's what his father is telling him. You're the boxer. Don't try to punch with this guy.
Left by Barkley, who followed with the uppercut.
Now he's in trouble. Now his legs in a motion. He's got a long way to go. Big trouble for Elijah now. He's got to hold on.
Oh, big hook by Elijah. It surprised Barkley. Mandatory 8, and look at Elijah taunting Barkley. He got caught. That's time left in the round. And now Elijah going for the big shot. Barkley's hurt.
Alajade letting it all lay out. He knows he's got him if he wants him. Iran smiling.
Down to 25 seconds to go in the round, but Barkley comes back. Another good left hook by Alajade. Final seconds of round 4. And Barkley able to rally. He was hurt. Alajade again able to connect as the crowd responds.
Right hand. Okay? Go back there and start doing it again. Boxing. The guy's hurt. You're trying to kill him. Set him up. He got 10 rounds to go. No water on him. You heavy? You heavy? You understand?
27-year-old Iran Barkley out of the Bronx, who was having his way against Michael Alajade, was surprised. Alajade landing one out of left field.
It was a perfect counter punch, though. This is a punch on Alajade against the door. Look at the way his legs are just doing numbers on him. He is absolutely incoordinate at this point. But look what happens coming the other way. Just as Barkley throws one, there's the perfectly timed left hook, and down goes Iran Barkley.
And then Alajade looked to pick it up. Barkley smiled at him, and Barkley then came on to round 5.
And if you want to get crazy, try to explain the scoring in this town.
Oh, down goes Alajade! Alajade put down for the second time on the bout, and he is hurt.
He's really hurt this time.
And here comes Barkley. Alajade trying to find his legs.
Alajade is really hurt.
We are early in the round. Referee Mercanti trying to decide whether to step in. Alajade cannot get away. That was a desperation attempt. This one is over.
And Barkley would settle down. The referee would stop it.
Barkley throwing everything at Alajade. Officially. In a wild one here at the Felt Four at Madison Square Garden, Iran Barkley has stopped Michael Alajade in round number 5. It was billed as Big Apple Bad Blood, and it certainly was. Remarks the last couple of weeks prior to the fight carried right up until they stepped between the ropes here this afternoon. And Michael Alajade, who did put Iran Barkley down in round 4, was put down for a second time in round 5, and then just could not keep away from Iran Barkley. That's the knockdown just moments ago in round number 5. And then Alajade tried to stay away, but could not. And this is the conclusion. Referee Arthur McCanty Jr. now stepping between the fighters and halting it. The official time, 1:12 of round 5. And entered at the Felt Forum at Madison Square Garden moments ago. Iran Barkley stopped Michael the Silk Alajade for the official announcement. Let's go to the ring announcer, Ed Daring.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Arthur Mercanti stops this bout at 1 minute and 12 seconds of the 5th round, and the winner by a TKO, Iran Barkley.
So Barkley now 24-4, 15 15 by knockout, only the second professional loss for Elijah Day. It was 25-2. And you wonder what is next for Iran Barkley. The WBA middleweight champ is Sambu Kalambe, who yesterday won that clear-cut decision over Mike McCallum. The IBF title holder, Frank Tate. The WBC champ is Thomas Hearns. And Barkley is alongside the fight doctor.
Iran, you said in the dressing room Hart was going to win this. Hart won this?
Well, first I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But what worked for me was hard work and good heart that I have. You know, working hard, and my trainer Al pushing me and working with me hard. But I knew that I could beat him.
Did you think you had him in the second round when he was wobbling all over the place?
Yeah, I felt I had him, you know. I said it's just a matter of time. I just got to just pace myself.
But
Don't get wild.
But then came that shock. You got
Oh,
you
yeah.
win now.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was the shot that came, but it didn't really hurt me. It was just more a surprising shot, you know.
You got him so fast at the beginning of that fifth round that hardly anybody saw that punch. What was that?
It was a left hook.
Did you put everything into it?
Oh, yeah, I knew I could catch him with it. I was going to feint him. I said, let me get on my toes and just feint him and just shoot the left hook real quick. He won't even know it's coming. And that's what I did. That's what we worked on in the gym, and that's what I knew I could beat him with.
All right, this is Al Bolden, the manager. You have to be very happy. What's in store for this young man now?
Well, the manager got to take care of that, Stan Hoffman and his manager. I just want a young man to come back and get the gym and go back to work. He got a lot of talent. People gave up on him. And not me.
And he's got
a fight one time, and I said, this kid got something. He got hard. And then you give him the other things that you need, he'll be champion.
That's what he's got hard. Thank you very much. Back to Marv Albert at ringside.
All right, Ferdy, we'll be back to talk with Michael Elijah Day right after we take this break. Back after the 12 of the fifth round, and the silk, Michael Elijah Day is with Ferdy.
Tough day in the Big Apple. In the fourth round, you seemed like you had the fight all in your hands to control. You dropped Iran Barkley. You think he was going to get up?
Actually, I knew Iran has a lot of heart. I figured he'd get up, but it just wasn't there. I'm going to have to take a little rest and come back.
When you say it wasn't there, throughout the fight, it looked like you couldn't control your legs well. You were slipping, you were sliding. Even when you didn't get hit, your legs didn't seem like they were working well. What is that?
I don't have any answer to that, Freddie. I don't exactly know what it was, but I did feel weak going into it. I'm going to take a little rest, and believe me, I'll be back.
Maybe we'll come back too soon.
We're also looking at the end of this fight where you get tagged. Do you know what you got tagged with?
I figured it to be a left hook when I was...
That's what he said. Iran said a left hook that you didn't see coming.
I didn't
And did you think it was stopped in time, or were you upset that it was stopped?
Well, I don't think it looked too good. I mean, the cameras are on, and my legs didn't look right, but my brain was there, and I could see myself moving out of the way of punches. I figured if you give me a few more seconds, I might be able to weather it, but the referee stopped it at his best discretion, so I can't take it.
Very well. All right, Mac, to Marv Albert at ringside.
All right, Ferdy, and we will be back to take a look at the world of amateur boxing. An exclusive Elijah Day in the fifth round. Right here, let's make the transition to the world of amateur boxing. A factor that has affected amateur sports, particularly boxing, is Cuba's recent announcement that they will not attend the '88 Summer Olympics in Seoul. In her interview for Sunday Today, Maria Shriver got these exclusive comments from Fidel Castro for today's edition of Sports Journal.
Cuba's Olympic decision is a big disappointment for its 10 million people, some of the most fanatic sports fans in the world. This is the second Olympics in a row that their powerhouse Cuban athletes will miss. In 1984 in Los Angeles, it was the communist boycott. This year, it is in solidarity with North Korea's claim that it should co-host the Games with the South Koreans. Even when it became clear that Cuba's East Bloc allies, including the Soviets, East Germans, and Chinese, would all go to Seoul, Cuba stood its ground. Last week, Fidel Castro explained that decision, but raised the possibility that Cuba might yet attend the Games. You have chosen not to attend the Olympics in Seoul.
Yes.
Do you regret that decision?
¿Lamenta esa decisión?
No, en lo absoluto.
No, not at all.
Es una cuestión de principio.
It is a question of principles. We favored
De que se compartieran las Olimpiadas.
the sharing of the Olympics.
Y de esa forma,
Thus,
pudiéramos asistir honorablemente todos.
we could all honorably attend the Olympics.
Hemos trabajado muchísimo
And we
en esa
worked
dirección.
a lot in that
Trabajamos con
direction.
Corea del Norte.
We worked with North Korea.
Hicimos esfuerzos con el
We
Comité
made
Olímpico
efforts with the
para buscar
Olympic
una
Committee
solución del problema.
to seek a solution to the problem.
De modo que
So,
estuvieran de acuerdo las dos cosas.
that the two Koreas would reach an agreement and share the Olympics as a single nation.
Y todo el mundo trabajáramos
And
por
everybody
el éxito de las Olimpiadas.
worked in favor of that.
Hicimos un gran esfuerzo,
We made great efforts in that sense,
pero no arrojó fruto.
but the results were not
Hubieron unos
good.
pocos eventos
There's some very
ridículos
few
a la
ridiculous
República Democrática de
events were offered to the
Corea. Tuvimos
People's
esperanza
Democratic
de una
Republic of
apertura
Korea.
democrática.
So for us, it is not honorable
Asistir esa
to attend to these Olympics.
Y sencillamente decimos,
And we
no nos
simply
inscribimos.
said, no, we will not register. And that's it.
And
Esa
there's
fue la
nothing,
decisión que
there's
nosotros...
nothing that would make you reconsider in light that the Soviets are going, that other communist bloc nations are going?
Nosotros somos un país independiente.
We are an independent country
Celoso de nuestra independencia.
and very
Muy
zealous about our
orgulloso.
independence and very proud of our independence.
Principio,
And for us,
no los cambiamos por unas cuantas medallas.
that is, we do not change principles for a few gold
Por motivo de
medals.
seguridad se dice.
There is nothing that would make you reconsider your decision to attend the Seoul Summer Olympic Games.
Bueno, Samaranch me escribió,
Samaranch wrote me.
dice que va a seguir luchando.
He says he will continue struggling to find a solution. We're glad.
Solución que sea satisfactoria.
If he seeks a satisfactory solution for Democratic Republic of Korea,
Nosotros lo apoyamos.
we'll support it, and then we'll participate.
Es decir,
I don't know if
puede
now
aparecer una fórmula milagrosa.
a
De
miracle
todas maneras,
might come up.
Samaranch insiste.
If he took away the pretense that North Korea was co-hosting the games, would that allow you to go?
De que Corea del Norte está coauspiciando los juegos, entonces usted diría,
Sí,
right,
iría,
would go.
seguro.
Then you would
Y
go.
ojalá existiera una solución
And
de ese tipo.
I hope there's a solution
Eso
like
es lo que
that.
nosotros queríamos
That's what we wanted,
y por eso hemos estado luchando.
and that's what we have been struggling for.
Even as we were leaving Havana, President Castro said again that there was still a chance Cuba might be in Seoul. Cuba and the International Olympic Committee are still talking. 2 or 3 months, he said, then we should know. For NBC Sports Journal, I'm Maria Shriver.
We'll be back with more of NBC's Sports World after these words.
You need the approval of 2 to make it a good lift. He's got the weight clean, the most difficult part for him now. It's almost off his fingertips. He readjusts, has it set. There it is.
Tremendous quickness as he jerks it overhead. 540 pounds, first attempt in the clean and jerk.
Absolutely. This will be a new Bulgarian record, be a new personal record. It's a tremendous, tremendous amount of weight. I think we're so cavalier about it sometimes. We're looking at well over a quarter of a ton, Bob. Very, very few people in the world can do this.
Well, we're getting very close to 600 pounds. Is that possible?
That is possible. I'm sure that's down the road. It's going to be a much larger man. Crasto claims he will be the first to do it. I don't think so.
Needs this lift to move him into the lead.
You know, he has that blocky physique. His biggest problem in the clean and jerk actually is in the clean. His shoulders and his arms. He has trouble doubling up the arms, so therefore it makes it difficult to rack the weight. Now, before he came into this competition, he was supposed to have cleaned 595 pounds in training somewhere. Stays over the bar a long time. I just don't like this. I feel very uncomfortable with it. Tremendous time over the bar.
He's got a lot of weight to think about.
Big pull. He's got it on his chest. Has to stand up.
Oh, and with that miss, Krastev, who is not very happy with his performance, I have a feeling, in the clean and jerk, sits in 3rd position in the overall. Alexander Kolovich from the Soviet Union, 2nd attempt in the clean and jerk, 573 pounds. Bruce, this represents quite a comeback for him because, as we mentioned earlier, he was suspended for life, bringing steroids into Toronto in 1985. But, Bruce, if he's suspended for life, how come he's lifting here?
Good question, Bob. Basically, it's because the International Weightlifting Federation went to the Soviet Union and asked them to rescind the lifetime suspension given by the Soviets. The International Weightlifting Federation only gave him a 2-year suspension. They thought a lifetime suspension was a little bit out of line.
But I'll bet the Soviets are glad to have him right now.
His comeback has absolutely been phenomenal. I mean, to be attempting a world record total on his second attempt in the clean and jerk, this is fantastic lifting. Big pull, he's got the weight well racked. Look how easily he stands up with the weight. Tremendous power. There it is, the jerk, 573 3/4 pounds, easily done, Bob.
And a world record for the total.
What a return to the platform. Fantastic.
Tremendous lift by Krlovich.
You know, I think possibly, let's take a look here in slow motion. Good position over the bar. Look how close he keeps it. Keeps it very close to the body, brushes it off the thighs, has it racked, recovered easily. Now he has to jerk it. He waits for the bar to quit oscillating, rams it over his head. That was even a shallow split. He has more in reserve. You can see it. Tremendously strong athlete.
And now it's Taranenko's turn to come out and lift. He'll be attempting 585 pounds. It's his third attempt. And Bruce, this is for another new world record, this in the clean and jerk.
You know, it's interesting, Bob, when you contrast the physique of these two athletes. Taranenko looks like he's a little bit on the pudgy, soft side. Krlovich, muscular, hard.
Okay, I remember back in 1970 in Columbus, Ohio in the World Championships, the great Alexiev from the Soviet Union was the first man ever to lift 500 pounds, and we thought that was a miracle. Now they're getting close to 600 pounds.
Yeah, I really believe it's only a matter of time until 600 pounds is across, and that is a fantastic amount of weight. Sometimes we're just so cavalier the way we say 400, 500, 600 pounds. It's enormous.
The world record he's trying to break, that by his countryman who is not lifting here, Pisarenko, lifted 584 pounds.
You know, it's interesting. You can see facing us on his left sock, you see a little blood. And the reason that's coming out is from his shin. He really bangs up against the bar. You see it right there. His shin goes right against the bar when he starts his pull.
If he makes this, he will have lifted more weight than any man in history.
Good pull. The weight's racked. Deep bottom position. Comes up. Readjust the weight. There it is.
He has it overhead.
Tremendous effort.
585 pounds, and Taranenko has lifted more weight than any man in weightlifting history. And moves ahead of Krlovich, and what a competition we have here. Already 3 world records in the snatch, the clean and jerk, and the total.
Good pull, brushes high off the thighs, racks the weight well, bounces up out of the bottom. He really knows how to use the body and the bar. Waits for the bar to stop moving. Slight dip. Rams the weight over his head. Tremendous power, a beautifully done lift. He has to bring under control to wait for the referee's down signal.
And if he had a reputation of not doing well in the big competitions, he'd certainly put that one aside. And now in his third attempt, Krlovich. He'll be attempting 586 pounds, and he'll be going for a world record.
It's awesome to see these two athletes battling out like this.
Well, it was Krastev who was the world champion, and now the Soviets have taken back that glamour event in weightlifting, the super heavyweight. He has not missed a lift tonight.
You know, this really is a tremendous return to the weightlifting platform, Bob, to come back from the suspension, to set a world record in the total, and here to be attempting a world record in the clean and jerk. I mean, it's just tremendous. So you know the man was training ardently while he was on suspension.
2 lifters from the Soviet Union, but tremendous differences in physique.
Absolutely. But you know, sometimes it makes you wonder, does a more muscular guy lift more or what? I mean, look at Alexiev. Look at Krastev. Look at some of these athletes. They lift enormous weights. They don't look to be particularly muscular.
Bruce, you have to think it's muscles that lift weights.
That's correct. So you know these guys that appear to be fat are not fat. Fat does not lift this kind of weight. You know, interesting thing, Bob, is the stance that Krlovich takes. He's an extremely wide foot stance, and then he even jumps his feet out a little bit more. This looks sometimes to me like it could lead to an injury. Tremendous pull. He's got the weight racked. Stands up with no problem, 586 pounds.
And now he's got a chance to lift more weight than any other man in history.
Slight dip or jerk. There it is, Bob.
He's got it. He's got it overhead.
Got to bring it under control. Got to wait for the down signal.
Looks like a good lift. Bruce, 586 pounds.
No, it looks...
Wait a minute.
Obviously turned down by the referee. 3 red lights. The most likely reason is he did not bring the lift under control. He didn't hold it for the required length of time. He was still moving with it.
Oh, he was so close. It looked like he had it.
Tremendous pull. Look how he brushes high on the thighs, racks the weight well. Watch how easily he comes up, even in slow motion, no problem. Stands up with a weight. Remember, that's 586 pounds. Slight dip at the knees. Explodes the weight off his chest. You can see right here, he's recovering forward. The weight is turning. The feet have to be in line. He's still turning. He was not stationary. That's why he was turned down. Weight was not under control.
Milovic has to be disappointed. He was so close, but he is the overall winner. As we look at the final results, Krastev of Bulgaria set a world record in the snatch lift. Taranenko from the Soviet Union, a world record in the clean and jerk. And the man who totaled the most, another world record by Karlovich from the Soviet Union. 3 world records by 3 different men.
Luis Ramirez. Right in the middle of March Madness, of course, the NCAA basketball tournament beginning next week. And there were conference tournaments all over the country today. In the SEC, in the first semifinal game, Kentucky beat LSU 86-80. Eric Manuel for Kentucky with 24 points. He was high for the game. In the ACC, North Carolina beat Maryland 74-64. Carolina controlled the boards. J.R. Reed, 19 points and 14 rebounds. In the Big East here in New York, Syracuse beat Seton Hall 68.
In the shadow of the Arc de Triomphe, a 12-round WBC lightweight battle coming up. Pernell Whitaker challenging the champion, Jose Luis Ramirez, a tough cookie with a world of experience behind him. It's a big challenge for young Pernell Whitaker, who is the latest of the Olympic crop of '84 to challenge for a world championship. And he, of course, feels he is ready, even though he's only had 15 bouts. But what a crop they had back in '84. Fellow Olympian Evander Holyfield was the first to claim a world title. His 15-round decision over Dwight Cowie made him the new WBA junior heavyweight champion. In a rematch, Holyfield destroyed Cowie. Holyfield will now move up to the heavyweight ranks, where some feel he has the potential to challenge Mike Tyson. Welterweight Mark Breland took home Olympic gold and a world title, but Marlon Starling sent him to the canvas in round 11 of their WBA welterweight title fight. Breland's on the comeback trail. He'll face Starling in a rematch next month. Virgil Hill had to settle for a silver medal as a middleweight in Los Angeles, and then he surprised more than one expert when he stopped Leslie Stewart to claim the WBA light heavyweight crown. He'll make his second title defense next month in his hometown of Bismarck, North Dakota. Light middleweight Frank Tate was only the second gold medalist to capture a world title. His 15-round decision over Michael Olajide made him the IBF middleweight champ. Today, Pernell Whitaker seeks to become the 5th member of the '84 Olympic team to claim a world title. He'll face Jose Luis Ramirez for the WBC lightweight championship. And along with manager Lou Duva, Whitaker took a break from training on Thursday for his first look at Paris's famous sights and reflected on the upcoming bout.
It's my time to shine. This is like going for the gold again for me. You know, I dreamed of winning a gold medal and buying my mother a home, taking her out of the projects and putting her into a home, and I've done that. So I fulfilled that dream. Now my dream is to win a world championship, and this is icing on the cake.
They are in the center of the ring getting set to go. They compare very favorably. Ramirez at 135, Whitaker a quarter-pound lighter coming in. Ramirez a little taller of the two, the reach almost identical. So a good matchup. You've got experience, power against speed, and certainly ambition and eagerness on the part of Pernell Whitaker. I'm Don Chevrier at ringside, a somewhat chaotic ringside, along with the man who sent so many great champions out from the corner, Angelo Dundee. What's the key here? You have a battle between the tortoise and the hare.
Well, you got the key is speed, 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 and I think that's what you're going to see Pernell Whitaker do early on and try to avoid the rushes of Ramirez, who's a real proven pro, and he's really going to chase him, and Whitaker's going to dominate early, I feel, because of his speed, because he's got hand speed, foot speed.
Well, it is felt that he may and must dictate the pace, Whitaker, because Ramirez has got a lot of heart, a lot of stamina. He'll pace himself well. He could be very, very tough later on. So the speed of this young hare, trying to catch this tortoise and beat all his experience in the early rounds. We'll see how it turns out.
There's only one thing I'm concerned about with Whitaker. I watched him in the gymnasium early on. He does cross his feet when he goes both ways. So he's liable to catch a right hook or a straight left hand and get dumped on his pants.
Well, it happened to him earlier in his career with Roger Mayweather. But he's got a jab he says he's very proud of now. He has worked on it and improved it just in the last 3 weeks under the guidance of Joe Ferriello.
Well, I tell you, that jab has really been stinking those sparring partners, and he's really been setting them up.
It is an unusual matchup in that both men, as you can see, are southpaws. You don't see that very often, certainly not in a World Championship bout.
Well, usually they're able to got guys coming with right-hand stances, and what happens, they're able to do counter shots. Now, either one don't know how to handle the southpaw, because Whitaker's only fought about 7 southpaws. I think Ramirez only met a half a dozen himself.
And, of course, Whitaker's experience with southpaws came as an amateur. He's a good body puncher, and that jab we're seeing early from Purnell, he prides himself on his ability to go to the body.
I'll tell you, I've never seen a cooler fighter than Purnell Whitaker treated this week. He's really been ready, he wants it, and he's hungry for this kind of a win.
It is scheduled for 12, the WBC Lightweight Championship.
There he goes crossing his legs now, and that's a no-no because he's liable to catch a shot while he's in the midst of crossing.
Awaiting the winner of this, a mandatory bout with the WBA Lightweight King, Julio Cesar Chavez. Oh, good body work, partially blocked, though, by Whitaker.
I tell you, he really landed a real good straight left hand. Ramirez shouldn't be taking those kind of shots, but he took it right coming in.
Right now, it's jab for jab, and indeed, a very impressive jab showing by Purnell Whitaker.
I tell you, Fred Astaire would have been jealous of that step. That was a real good move he put on Ramirez.
Well, Purnell, known as Sweet Pea, certainly was the most stylish of all the Olympic medalists in '84. He caught the eye of... And he dazzled his man in the first round with that. Ramirez did admit to us he might take a couple of rounds just to figure the style of Whitaker out.
Joey Ferriello told Purnell, cool it, just a piece of cake, just keep doing what you're doing, don't change.
And don't be over-eager. Realize you've got 12 rounds to take a little bit more time.
The speed of Purnell is going to make Ramirez look like he's standing still sometime.
Exactly. But speaking of standing still, that is something Whitaker cannot afford to do. He can't afford to trade punches for this guy.
Well, no, he can't. That's one thing he can't do, because Ramirez bangs with both hands, and is liable to nail you. And if he nails him when he's crossing those legs, I can't stress it enough, he's going to drop him.
Purnell's task, and he's doing it well so far, is to get in and out. Well, it dictates the pace. When Ramirez takes it to him, then he's got to use the speed he has to get away.
One other thing Purnell can't do is trade punches with Ramirez, because Ramirez gets cooking when you trade shots with him. He usually ends up with the best shot.
Whitaker describes his new jab as an off-beat jab, coming from different angles and confusing to an opponent.
Tell you, Don, he's looking every inch a champion right now. He's doing everything right. He's keeping Ramirez off balance and keeping him turning.
Ramirez, a man who's now 29, almost in a couple of weeks, it'll be 15 years since he's been boxing professionally. Which means, yes, he began at 14 as a pro boxer in Mexico with no amateur experience.
When we talked to Ramirez, he was a very interesting young man. He said, I've been fighting half my life, which he has been doing.
There was a left that Whitaker almost got nailed with.
That's what he can't do. He can't trade punches with Ramirez. He's got to play the cat and mouse game, hit him and get out of there.
In and out, you're right. Ramirez trying to stalk him more now, trying to dominate him in the second round if he can. But the jab keeps him at bay as Ramirez bangs the body with the left hand. Interesting matchup, different styles, these two southpaws.
I actually think Purnell's got Ramirez frustrated because Ramirez went right-handed that time.
Since the outset of this 12-round battle for the WBC Lightweight Championship in Paris. Carlos Guzman of Argentina, the referee, has not had very much to do.
That Ramirez's corner was very cool in there, but they better start Ramirez doing a couple of things because he's following Whitaker around like ring around a rosy. You can't do that. You got to cut him off and do his thing.
Ramirez has had some memorable battles with Terrence Lee, a couple with Edwin Rosario. It's his second reign as the WBC lightweight champion.
He pointed to those two guys as the fastest guys he ever fought. But let me tell you something, Pernell Whitaker is quicker than the both of them.
He also mentioned Hector Camacho, but he did allow for the fact that they're all different. He wants to see him before he decides what he's all about. Whitaker did not want to see any tapes, any films of Ramirez whatsoever. He feels it's misleading if you get set for one thing and the guy shows something different when he gets into the ring. So he's getting his first look at Ramirez now. Good body shot, followed with the left in Whitaker.
Very dangerous, Whitaker trading like that, because I'm afraid he's going to catch a shot from Ramirez. And Ramirez is the puncher, make no bones about it.
Relentlessly, he stalks Pernell Whitaker from Norfolk, Virginia. Whitaker has power, 15-0, and 9 of those wins have been knockouts. And he's forcing his man, despite his experience, to be a little wild right now. This is what he can't afford to do.
Can't trade punches.
No. Ramirez, like the next bottle of wine from the waiter here in Paris, just keeps on coming, it seems.
I see Ramirez's manager, Ramon Felix, is giving the waving sign, keeping him busy. Got to get busy.
A good start for Pernell. I would think you'd have to give him the first 2 rounds, but this round could be a little different. There is the right landing by Ramirez.
Ramirez is really dogging Whitaker, trying to get him, trying to trap him, but you got to give Whitaker a lot of credit the way he's slipping and sliding.
The chase is on. The tortoise and the hare we alluded to at the start of our coverage from Paris tonight. The tortoise slowly, steadily pursuing his man as the faster Whitaker makes his way around this ring, which is 18.5 in Whitaker. Angelo.
Ramon Felix really did a good job in the corner with him. He says, close, close, cerquita, cerquita. And he's telling him to let the shots go downstairs. Abajo, abajo, abajo. That was the instruction.
Well, Ramirez told us he figured to have a couple of tough early rounds against Pernell and then wanted to wear him down, as we've told you.
I think that's putting him mildly down. He's been getting the heck kicked out of him these first 3 rounds.
The third was a better one for him, but he still might have lost it, indeed.
No, he lost it. He got out-punched, outsmarted, and he missed the most punches.
Remember, Ramirez in the Red Trucks is at 106 pro fights. Whitaker only 15 to this stage. You may say that's not enough to groom a world champion, but with talent like that, it may well be.
What I'm concerned about in this ring, Don, they got these advertisements in there, and they're like on an angle. And if Whitaker grabs his foot on it, he's going to slip on it, because it's a bad thing where they're in close to the ring.
They have advertisements on the stool, on the boxer's trunks, as you see with Ramirez, on the sponge dish. In fact, if we don't watch ourselves, they might stick one on her back, a billboard here, and charge somebody for that, too.
Well, they may have it in the bottom of the shoes. I don't know, but we may not see that, because they're both taking good care of themselves.
This is ad man's heaven, I'll tell you. In Levallois, Paris, in the outskirts of Paris, just off the Champs-Élysées. Whitaker, of course, has a broken ankle in his career. He's had a broken hand that has bothered him. His left hand has bothered him a bit in training here. And the crowd here solidly behind Ramirez, shouting "Allez, champion," which means "come on, champion." He's their man, although he's from Mexico. They've adopted Ramirez here in France.
Whitaker still fighting a very smart, heady fight, going side to side, but he better not get too close when he switches like that.
It wasn't a hard shot, but he took one flush on the face. He tried to get out of there. But Ramirez continues to come at him relentlessly. Going to the body. Whitaker on his bicycle with a jab again in evidence.
I don't know if we can get the angle of these pads on the floor. They're actually on an angle, like corner pads, and they slide up. And if he gets his foot caught in there, he's going to slip and fall down with it.
I agree with it very easily. It's very dangerous. There is a good chopping left by Ramirez. About 20 seconds to go in this round. Whitaker banging with him a little bit, going to the body, and then wisely tries to get away before that clinch. With you. Pernell Whitaker getting it done against the champion, WBC style, the world lightweight title held by Jose Luis Ramirez. But it is the middle to later rounds where we would expect Ramirez to get around to his kind of fight. If Pernell can show his speed and pile enough points up and then stay out of trouble, he could be in good shape. But a good start for him at this early juncture.
Pernell got hit a real good shot in that last round. If it had been a little lower, it might have done some damage. Got to be very careful when he's moving around on him like that.
Ramirez, a very tough man to hurt, a very tough man to take down. That was partially blocked on looping left by Ramirez. Rosario knocked him down in succeeding rounds in a great battle in their rematch, but nobody else been able to do that.
This is what you call maturity fighting a young man, because really the 15 fights is real tough to go against a fella with the amount of experience that Ramirez has.
Well, his entire working life has been as a professional boxer. And again, the great hand speed of Whitaker, some great throwing blows there.
I got to admire Pernell Whitaker because he wants it real badly, and the way he's throwing those shots is something else. And I sort of remember a guy by the name of Leon Spinks had 7 fights, and he beat some youngster like I knew named Muhammad Ali.
You do remember that?
I do, slightly.
Well, he is making Ramirez look a little awkward now. He's got to be a little uncomfortable. We'd like to warn our local stations we'll be taking a station break immediately following the conclusion of this round. So now getting glancing shots as he backed out of there. This is the 5th round scheduled for 12. Pernell Whitaker has crossed the ocean to become the latest Olympian from the '84 team to win a World Professional Championship. And the man he's chosen is a tough customer, Jose Luis Ramirez from Mexico, fighting lately out of France as sort of an adopted native son. Whitaker favored coming in, and much of the strength given to him was feeling that he would do well in the early rounds, and he has.
Referee gave him a real good warning there for pushing him down, but what the heck, you got to do everything you can to get that win, and that's what Pernell Whitaker's doing.
It is getting late in round 5. Whitaker continues to impress. Round 6 with a couple of win streaks on the line here. Of course, Whitaker 15-0 as a pro. Ramirez has won 10 in a row. There's that pad you're talking about getting the Whitaker playing.
Those pads are so dangerous, it's not even funny. And you know what? They want to make sure they got the advertising in. They got them nailed down. You can't move it.
Well, it may be good for business, but it's not too smart in terms of a fighter's welfare, especially one who moves as well and as frequently as Whitaker does.
Now, Ramon Field in the corner that time, he was telling downstairs, abajo, abajo. And he told him, igalo. He said, hitting him in the belly, hit him in the kidney.
Ramirez having trouble catching up to hit him at all.
Ramirez is doing something now. He's jabbing, which is a good idea, so they can break up Whitaker's jab. That's why he's jabbing right now, to break up the rhythm of Whitaker.
Well, again, he doesn't want to be in here doing this kind of thing, but he's coming out on the long end of it. He got away with it, Whitaker did.
Well, Whitaker can't do that. He's got to fight a type of fight he's fighting. Just move, stick him, keep him turning. There's no sense in trading punches.
Because this man could take all you can give him and more.
I think he proved that with Rosario, because he really got dunked a couple times, came back and knocked out Rosario. I saw that fight in Puerto Rico.
Yes. The second of their 2 great fights. Well, he has fought Camacho, Boza Edwards. He has fought so many experienced people. And here's Whitaker with just 15 bouts, dancing rings around him right now. It's an amazing story unfolding here tonight.
Well, you got to remember, he beat Roger Mayweather, and that was a heck of a win Whitaker had, because there's no better banger than Mayweather.
It is quite a division, this lightweight division. And on the fringe, a couple of great ex-champions are about to go at it again in May, Camacho and Mancini. You've got Chavez, and you've got Greg Haugen, the IBF champion. You've got the man he beat, Vinny Panzienza, and these 2. Well, Whitaker is only 24 and in superb shape. Is there a chance he could tire here and not be able to sustain this, Angelo?
Oh, he definitely could tire because what Ramirez is doing is banging him downstairs, keeping him busy, making him do things he don't want to do. That's what we figured.
15 seconds, but it was certainly a better round for Ramirez.
Well, definitely a much better round for Ramirez. He's starting to hurt him downstairs. And Whitaker's mouth is starting to bleed. Now, a funny thing happened in the corner. Joey Ferriello, the trainer, said, tie him up in close. And you know what happened? Purnell said, I can't. That's the strength of Ramirez.
Yes, it is. And he is coming on more and more now as the 7th round is underway. Whitaker has never stopped an opponent as a pro from the 7th round on.
I don't know what happened in the referee's corner over there, neutral corner, but there's water there.
A lot of it.
And if...
see in the background there, just past...
Yeah, if Purnell goes there, he's going to slip on it.
Not to mention those pads full of advertising that he has stumbled on a couple of occasions.
Strange thing, Guzman warned Purnell for turning his back on Ramirez. That's a no-no. He shouldn't do that because he got hit a real good shot in the kidney.
Now, that left hand of Whitaker's became a problem late in his training. Is it a problem now? He seems to be holding back with the left hand.
Well, I watched him, and I noticed that in the gymnasium, he hit one of his sparring partners on top of the head, and he sort of shook it off. Now, maybe he did hurt his hand in the gymnasium.
Well, he broke his right hand in '86, and it has been fine ever since it mended. But he certainly is holding back with the left more in this round, as it's almost exclusively the right jab that we're seeing from Purnell.
Well, he's definitely not using his left hand at all.
He got him through that time, though, and a good shot at that.
I spoke too soon.
He takes one with the left hand from Ramirez.
Well, Ramirez is definitely getting to Purnell. Purnell is definitely slowing down. The gas tank is getting emptied out a little bit. And Ramirez can go this kind of style anytime. You notice he slipped in the water that time, Ramirez.
Over in that neutral corner.
That's what it is. They got to wipe it up, but nobody's paying no attention to it.
Whitaker favored here against the champion because of his speed, but also because of the 12-round distance, I suspect. If this were a 15-round bout, it might be a different story. You might have to look to Ramirez the way he grinds his opponents down.
Well, I think 12 rounds is championship rounds. I mean, you're a champion whether it's 12 or 15.
Whitaker goes to the body effectively as Ramirez winces in pain from that body shot, both in superb condition, but a couple of heavy bangers in here. And there is the bell. We'll stay with you here between rounds 7 and 8.
Beautiful, baby, beautiful. Relax now, Pete. Just take a deep breath and relax.
Open it up, Pete. Open it up. Okay, give me your mouth, but open up. I just want to get this out of the way. That's it. Hold still. It's all right, no problem. I'm all right. All right, just let me get in there. All right. All right. Give him a little bit. Yeah, I got it.
Some more stuff stinks.
I know, but I had to use it, baby. How to use it.
Too defensive now. Okay, now listen to me on one thing. When you make this guy miss, he's stumbling, and you're moving out. And you're moving out and you're not doing nothing. I thought you told me to don't know. All right, now this round I want you, when you move out and make him miss, jump back in and nail it. With a 2-3 punch combination. Huh? You got it.
You got it, baby.
I've seen you throw that.
Baby. Hey. Come on, bang with that belly. Come on. Come on, baby. Hey. All right. Come on, baby. Got those combinations going. Let's go.
Some pretty confident words coming out of Whitaker's corner there with Joey Ferriello, Lou Duva, and Ace Murata, who's the cut man. Hasn't had much to do in that regard.
Well, I'll tell you, they're doing a real good job trying to pump up Whitaker because Whitaker's getting a little befuddled now because Joey's telling him things to do, and he's misinterpreted. Because Joey told him when you make him miss, when he goes off balance, nail the guy. And
well, it may be a one-handed effort on the part of Whitaker right now. We did see him use that left once when he saw a big opening back in that 7th round, but that was about the only left he threw, so the hand is a source of discomfort to Purnell at this stage. He appeared, as Angelo told you, to injure it in the later stages of training. course, he has experience along these lines. He broke his other hand back in '86 against John Montez and had to go the last 6 rounds in one-arm fashion, much as he may do this bout.
I'll tell you, Purnell is really putting up a game fight, and what he did the last clinch, he hit him with a shot with that left hand to the kidney to make it look like he's using the left hand. There he goes, hitting him to the body with the left hand.
Now, the first 5 rounds were clearly Whitaker's, I would think. Where do you go from there, now that we're in the 8th round?
Well, it's going to be downhill from here on out, because if you're a one-handed fighter, you're not going to lick a Ramirez.
How did you see the last 2 rounds, 6 and 7?
I gave him to Ramirez because he was hurting him, but he shot, really hitting him more punches, and he's getting to Purnell.
He knows he has time, the champion does, and he is always there for Whitaker. Get out of there, Purnell, I'm sure his corner is saying, because that is where he can ill afford to be. He does get out of there. As it continues, this battle for the WBC lightweight crown. A minute to go in this round. Round 8. Ramirez with 100 victories and 6 losses. He has KO'd 82 of his 100 wins.
Purnell is really getting hurt with those body shots. That last clinch, he really edged in sideways. So I think it may have even hurt a rib on his left side.
Well, he uses the left hand there. We have not seen much of it. Gets out of the way of that solid right shot from Ramirez. Tell Whitaker 12 more minutes and you're the champion of the world as we head now into this 9th round. Still leading, but Ramirez catching up.
This is the kind of fight that'll go right down to the wire because I think they're both in great shape. Only thing I'm worried about, I think Whitaker hurt a rib because when he goes, he puts his right side in so he don't get hit on the left side.
And, of course, the left hand to be considered, too, that he injured about 3 rounds ago, although he has not complained about either that I've heard listening to the corner.
No, he hasn't given that away in the corner, really.
But it is obvious by his style that the left hand, if not injured, is being saved for a much more important occasion than this, and I can't think of what it might be.
Well, there's nothing more remarkable than fighters the way they can suck up pain, and that's what he's doing. But I definitely think he hurt he's hurt on the side there, and he's always favored when he goes into the clinch. You notice the Purnell is moving a little slower to get in the way out of those clinches, which is going to get nailed.
The judges who will score this are Harry Gibbs of England, Newton Campos of Brazil, and Louis Michel of France. And we expect, the way we have seen it, that Whitaker has the lead built up in the first 5 rounds, with Ramirez rapidly gaining on him. It is scheduled for 12. This bout is taking place in a tent which was thrown up in a couple of days here at a cost of 15 or 1.5 million francs, about $300,000. And it's all the comforts of home, an instant arena here in the suburb of Levallois-Perret, France.
I tell you, it's really a beautiful setup for a fight.
It's a community of 55,000. Over 5,000 have turned up here with a price of $400 ringside for this WBC Lightweight Championship. 45 seconds to go in the round. Whitaker with the left, missed with the right.
Well, he's got to stop trading because he's going to get hit with a shot. Because he's opening up and he's going to get nailed. Whitaker definitely tried to buy his time, all time, doing a lot of good stuff in there to avoid getting hit.
Oh, got a good lefty in that time, Whitaker did. So he is willing to use it. He pursues the championship. Let's check his corner between rounds a moment ago.
Hey, I'm giving baby. You're getting everything you want, baby, because you're dancing beautiful out there, baby. This is you. This is Olympic time, right? Let's take this thing. You got 3 rounds to go. Okay. Come on. This is the Olympic title. 3 rounds. Let's go.
White those go up.
Lou also told him it's now a 3-round amateur fight. Trouble is, you don't start your amateur fights having gone 9 against one of the toughest guys in the division.
I'll tell you one thing, they're doing a good job of pumping them up, all of them. And he said, letting them know there's only 9 minutes to go to win a title. That's what they're trying to juice them up for.
Well, Ramirez came on, I thought, to win 6, 7, and 8. That Whitaker might have won that 9th round. If he did, it's a very important victory. He surely won the first 5.
He's getting hit some horrendous body shots by grabbing and holding.
Whitaker walking him away, and he gets a caution from Goose for the referee.
Getting a little bit of a walk there. It worked. Got him some more time.
Yep. He got him electrocuted. Ramirez connecting with the left. Whitaker scoring as he comes in as the Mexican world champion bangs away at the body. A little over a minute to go. This is the 10th round.
Whitaker's taking out all the stops, using every trick in the book, biding his time so he won't get nailed.
I don't care what experience Ramirez has, he's got to be frustrated by the movement of Whitaker.
Oh,
here.
God, yes. He just got wobbled by a shot, too.
Another
He got
good shot
nailed
to the
off
body.
balance. That's right. Right.
Whitaker has displayed a great deal of heart, and he has shown, certainly, ring wisdom and character beyond his 15 pro bouts. This 24-year-old from Norfolk, Virginia, giving Mr. Ramirez a dance lesson.
Dance lesson and a boxing lesson. He's fighting a real good fight.
The constant movement. There is the solid right coming through now. Uses the left hand, which he has used sparingly. Just seconds to go here in this 10th round, as Whitaker's movement seems relentless in the face of the persistent attack by Ramirez. Stay with us from Paris.